of extreme weather, unrelenting hot temperatures in western U.S. are fanning the flames of huge wildfires there, prompting authorities to order more evacuations. The Bootleg fire in Oregon grew yet again, spreading to another 7,000 hectares overnight. It's now 3 times the size of the metropolis of Detroit, the largest of 18 major active fires in the country. A huge plume of smoke now soaring from Bootleg to the Canadian border. More residents were forced to evacuate on top of 2,000 people who fled earlier. But even as firefighters make progress, fierce winds and lightning strikes continue to be a serious threat. A fast-growing blaze in California's Lake Tahoe tourist area has been growing explosively to 8,000 hectares with zero containment so far. Nearly 20,000 firefighters and support personnel are struggling to contain it and other wildfires across the western states. More than 1 million hectares have already been burned this year. Raging wildfires in Russia's Siberia have shrouded the city of Yakutsk and some 50 other towns and settlements in dense smoke. Operations at the city's airport had to be temporarily shut as visibility fell. The intense smoke has sent the air pollution index off the charts. People are advised to stay at home and shut their windows as authorities blamed climate change for the fires.
Безусловно, ситуация по пожарам в республике у нас крайне сложная. Еще раз хочу сказать, что мы испытываем самое засушливое лето за последние 150 лет у нас в Якутии. Самое жаркое, по крайней мере, вот июнь у нас был самый жаркий вообще за историю метеонаблюдений. Конечно же, это вкупе с сухими грозами, которые у нас практически каждый день ежедневно проходят на территории республики, привело к значительным пожарам.
180 fires raged in the region as of yesterday, covering an area of more than 800,000 hectares. More than 2,200 firefighting personnel have been deployed to fight the flames. They're still struggling to bring the rapidly expanding blaze under control. China has dismissed accusations from Australia that it is behind a potential United Nations move to list the Great Barrier Reef as being in danger. Australia had alleged an ongoing political row between Canberra and Beijing subverted the status assessment of the world's largest coral reef system. Chinese Deputy Education Minister, who chairs this year's UNESCO Heritage Committee, said the claims are baseless. He said it was Australia that provided reports and data on the state of the Great Barrier Reef, and a decision to earmark it for the list was reached after thorough assessment by experts. Australia has objected to the proposal to list the Great Barrier Reef as in danger. The country says it has spent billions of dollars to clean up coastal waters and blames global warming for the corals fading. The once majestic reef bed has lost half of its corals over the last 2.5 decades. UNESCO experts, though, pressed that pollution runoff has contributed to reef decline and are urging Australia to do more to protect it. A final decision on the reef status is expected at the end of the week. And Asia Now continues in the next hour. We'll be looking at the top stories, including we're still living and learning painfully when it comes to managing COVID-19, but it is becoming clear that full vaccination does provide some protection against severe illness, even if you were to get infected. But that message is not getting through as much as it should do to the elderly. We ask one expert how we can improve on that in the very next hour. The Philippines gearing up for a surge in infections. Experts say the more contagious Delta variant is already moving within the community.
Look forward to brighter skies. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
The challenge to ensure economic development without depleting natural resources.
Back in the days, we don't really talk about sustainability.
There are great challenges in front of us.
Find out what's at stake and the solutions within our reach.
The sky, or rather the ocean, is the limit.
And only future will tell us how successful we are going to be.
Your brand new documentary destination for sustainability and survival. Mondays, only on CNA.
53 sailors died when an Indonesian submarine sank into the Sea of Bali.
Saya ikhlas karena di sana dia bertugas dengan baik menjadi pahlawan bangsa.
The Nanggala is 44 years old, and usually the older a submarine gets, the riskier it becomes to operate it.
Is the country's dream of becoming a global naval power still within reach? Indonesia's maritime vision. Insight, Thursday on CNA. 3 individuals from 3 Asian cities with one thing in common: trying to survive after losing their careers in the pandemic. The hidden toll of COVID-19. Watch Make It Work on demand at cna.asia.
This is Asia Now.
It's 12 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 9:30 in New Delhi, and 11 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Loke Su at this hour. Indonesia is seeing deaths from the coronavirus hitting a global high, despite continued dips in new daily cases, while the Philippines braces for a surge in infections, as experts say the more transmissible Delta variant is already making the local rounds. 4 days at the start of the Tokyo Olympics, Japanese authorities say coronavirus management is now at a crucial stage, the emergence of the first cases of infection within the Olympic Village. While it's Freedom Day in the UK, with most coronavirus restrictions being lifted midnight Sunday, the Prime Minister is in self-isolation, calling for caution, with case numbers already rising fast. Indonesia has topped Brazil in recording the highest number of daily COVID-19 deaths, even as new cases start to ease. Indonesia reported close to 1,100 fatalities yesterday. That is the highest figure for any single country right now. It has seen slightly more than 1,000 COVID-19 deaths on average a day in the past week. That's up about 21% from the week before. The leading medical association says around 120 doctors died from COVID-related illness this month. That's the highest number since the pandemic started. The figure makes up more than 20% of some 550 doctors' deaths so far. The association has raised concerns over a functional collapse in medical infrastructure if the situation should worsen. More than 95% of Indonesia's doctors have been vaccinated with the Sinovac vaccine. Authorities are looking into letting healthcare workers take the Moderna vaccine as booster shots for better protection. Health experts are calling Indonesia the new epicenter of the pandemic. But there are signs that total daily infections are dipping. The country reported nearly 45,000 cases yesterday. That's a third straight day of decline. This comes as Indonesia evaluates whether to end curves or to extend them when the current set of restrictions expire after tomorrow. Southeast Asia's largest country is facing major economic fallout due to the pandemic. Officials had wanted to hold back curves to allow the economy to recover, while at the same time trying to keep the pandemic under control. While in the Philippines, health experts are warning that community transmission of the Delta variant of the coronavirus is already taking place. The Department of Health last week confirmed infections of 11 persons with the Delta strain who had not traveled abroad. The Department of Health said the Delta variant cases were from northern Mindanao, Metro Manila, West